Hello there, Leo, and welcome to your reading with me, Melissa Joy. I bet you didn't know you signed up for this, all right? But when you show up at Joy of the World, there are delightful, funny, whimsical things that can happen at any time because there is no edit to this. I don't have shame, people, so I'm blocking the wind. That's why I'm leaning on in. I'm like, I'm gonna try and keep that noise from rattling on your ears so you could still be out here and get a little seaside experience. Hold on. I don't know whatever that noise is, but it's like a bit of the humming drum sitting on your mind because one car blew away. Oh, it's the jet skis prepping for the Blue Angels. And that's a little bit of Michael coming on in and Blue Flame. And it's like when you really feel a passionate connection to yourself, you feel like some warm buzzing down the lower regions. And I mean all of it. It moves up the spine and it brings in the creative force, life force. But see, you're wanting to get rid of that old, like, the weight of the world. In this case, you're talking about feeling like life passed you by. Things that you were hoping for, working towards, applying yourself in, doing all the right things, and it's taken too long and it's not turning out. And you're like, yeah, Joy. I mean, I feel pretty sunny and okay in other areas, but this is that thing that shows up when I'm alone and when it's in private. Or when I'm having a happy moment, sometimes it's like a cloud and it just comes over 1, 2, 3, whoever's wondering. And it just passes over me. And it just seems like that's just how it is. That's like almost like a sign that this is the way it's going to be. But I'm telling you, let's get into this. That's why you're wanting to talk about it. Ooh, at the split, look at this. It's like liar, pants on fire. And I don't mean you and your feelings. The reason you're still feeling your feelings is you're trying to understand what happened way back when. It's having to do with timing. Okay, so the interesting thing, look at this wheel and the spinning and the moving. Time is on our sides, literally on the sides of our body. And so sometimes we can get stuck in that state of just being in the karma, being in the zodiac, creating an identity for ourselves that is this way instead of this way, all right? Because we stand upright, that's when we can move forward. That's how we actually level up and go up, is to move forward. But to move forward, you have to get off this 222, whoever's wondering. So get yourself upright, pick your heart up, bless yourself, speak to yourself in the mirror like I do. That's like, girl, they want to hear your messages. We really love you. We don't care about how you look or how special you are with yourself. It picks us up and we talk about the real things, which is the everyday stuff, like the socks in the underwear drawer of life. And I'm like, yeah, in the kitchen utensils drawer of life. Because, that's what gets your food into your mouth. I know you can use your fingers and we ought to. I'm telling you, friend, because you're wanting some sensational energy in here to get rid of that, like whitewash, that blasé, that opaque downgrade. You want it to be crystal clear. No more haze, no more disguises of things showing up and having been a lot of promise, but failing and falling through. And you're talking about fall through proof, fail proof. Did somebody let a trap door go out from under you? Did you have a great sense of loss of self and finances? Now that's a big deal for some of you out there, because I was talking about in one of the videos maybe a week or two ago that putting money in a savings, putting energy into yourself, investing yourself, but not getting the returns, the manifestation that you thought, because you didn't realize the piggy bank had moved into a modern era where it had a hole in the bottom so you could go and take from yourself. And this thing is falling through you and falling into everybody else's lap because maybe you didn't know how great you are. And all those things that make you special and the magic of who you are. I am saying cap it up, cup it up. Put a catch pan up under it, right? All right, well, let's find out a little bit more about that. Okay, Leo, I saw you trying to split up in there. This 7 of Wands, it isn't beating people off. It is like strike up the band. There's some leadership going on here, and I can see that you yourself are inspired. And you need to know that other people are inspired too, and they're showing up. So what they want you to do is to turn around and lead. When we turn around and face others, we see through their point of view, we see through the moon. But then we turn around as a leader and we start to follow the sun, and we're in that group dynamic with people, they start to follow the sun too. They say in therapy, 444, whoever's wondering, You talk about the ultimate creation, things all coming together and falling into place right on time. You have now hit into the trajectory, into the track of your life. And what I love about trajectory, and it's almost like a bow and arrow. It's a pull back and ping, you're going to end up in your ascending power. I absolutely love that. But in therapy, they talk about a lot of times that with children, and here in the sake of people being their own individual true self, being in their own happiness, walking along side by side really opens up dialogue and conversation for sincere truth to come forward, and not like the truth, but that the true self. Okay, so you've already inspired them. Turn around, follow the sun. Okay, they're here to join you in this, and it's not just like I'm over these people. No, just a visionary. You're someone who sees it, who feels it, who's sensing it and picking up on it, and they're sensing it from you. That's why they're following you, and they're not putting you in this position of glory of like, if you fail or fall, we're gonna. No, they realize we're walking this journey, we're moving this path, and the closer and closer you get, they're gonna start to recognize the sunlight falling on their own face, and those dialogues and conversations on this beautiful life journey. That dross, that dullness, that opaqueness starts to fall off of them, and you see people's lights coming on, their faces starting to shine, and 06, that starts to get people happy and excited. And I'll tell you with the 06, some of you may want to change the clock on your phone to a 24-hour gauge. It really gives a strong concept of time. It's pretty powerful, and it's wild when you're like me, after they put that stent in for my kidney, waking up after midnight and it'll be like 00:23, and it's interesting to see the clock like that, because then it feels like a stopwatch. It feels like something that you have control over and connection to, as opposed to something that's just running on, and how do I stop and take a break? How do I get a rest? How do I get myself together? Where does this fit in? It takes out some of that blockiness of time, and it gets it into more of the organic nature. All right, so let's find out a little bit about this here. If there anything else coming out for Leo about their sunshine is right on time. Oh, they're talking about a cute little couple. What a nice pairing here. It's very complementary energy coming in. So doing away with the friction and the efforting. It might be in the state that you might need to say something to yourself. And I don't mean have a talk. It's get in touch with yourself and say something to yourself that way, as if you're reaching out to a friend, okay? And you just have this conversation of like, hey, I know I was efforting, or I was doing these other things before, or maybe I was striving or stretching or whatever else. Like, my big thing is now I don't do hard. I did cancer, y'all. I went through that. That was hard. And I asked myself, what is my life lesson? And they said, you've put so much effort and you push yourself so much that you've forgotten to be your own friend. Okay, this is complementary energy coming in, reducing that friction. And after you've been through a situation like me surviving an abusive marriage, is I had to protect my energy all the time. And the friction it was against them in the sense, not towards them, but towards myself, of like pulling away, withdrawing, shrinking, protecting myself. Those type of energy frictions, those type of speed bumps and things like that, protective mechanisms that in regards to your own self, because when you're in a dangerous situation, your own self can't necessarily free flow. So you're having to cut off your inspiration, shut it up, tuck it in or whatever, in order to save it for a day when your life is safe again. So I just started saying to myself, oh, wait. I desire to freely flow in my life and to be in touch with myself. I go ahead and give you permission to myself, because self needs your permission too. When you're rebuilding that relationship with yourself, it will not form trust issues. It's going to alleviate them. And I just said to myself, I'm like, if there is any friction or resistance or whatever, that is not my nature. That is not how I feel towards you and towards myself. It was something that was occurring for a time, and it's become a pattern or a habit or something unknown or unconscious to me. If you need to bring it to my consciousness to remove it, let's do that. And if not, let's just bring it up and out. I go ahead and agree that I'm ready to be happy and satisfied and flow in my nature. All right, 0909, and that's cleared it out and brought in an ending. That just simplifies it right there. It's actually not difficult, but it doesn't sell, right? I didn't just sell you a book and sell you a weight loss program and sell you a bunch of therapy for thousands and tens of thousands of dollars of how to get over your parents and then decide I'm just going to create my own space and disown my family. It's none of that, because it really continues to allow environments and situations to create friction or closure or separation, or putting you all from the all sorts of treasures that are hidden in you, friend. I hope you like this. If you do, click that like button right now. Click it, tickle it, kiss it, touch it, tap it, whatever you need to do. Call the color yours and name it George. All right? But also leave me some compliments down below, even if it's just an emoji. I want to know that you're here. Wake up this channel, my friend. Wake up your channel of delight, of joy, and of loving your life. I am voting for you. Woo, woo. Go Leo. I love you.